first, we're going to start out with a short video. Okay, so I kind of had an experience like that earlier this summer, minus like the running and the bowling, because I don't have like a popular social life, but it was mostly like that. And like, it was like the worst possible thing, you know, like I lost my phone, and there was no like dramatic like falling to the ground and the screen cracking. It was just there, and then it was gone. So I was like upset, I was like emotional, and I like couldn't deal. And I have this problem where I think that I'm like way more clever than I actually am. So like 2 days in, I was going through this like cell phone like withdrawal phase, and I decided I was going to write a blog post. And like this blog post was going to be great. Like this was something that could be on like Thought Catalog. Like it was fantastic. The title of this very special and awesome blog post was Thoughts Without a Cell Phone, hashtag First World Problems. And it basically just had like random thoughts that ran through my head because I didn't have a phone. Like, what time is it? What's that actor's name? I could totally win this argument if I just had Google. You know, all the real practical things that you think. The blog post, it got like 12 hits, and I found out a couple things. Like, one, I have a huge ego, and it was really deflated. The second thing was that I was emotionally distraught because my phone was gone. It was Kaputski, like I couldn't handle. But, like, it seemed like the dark ages, like I was like, this is the worst. But now that I like look back and reflect, it was actually kind of amazing. So I'm going to take this time to kind of like position you to like step away from your cell phone, because you really never know like all the things you're missing. Like, I love to read, and I didn't know I had given up my reading time. So like I read like 5 books in this like 2-week period. They weren't like they were novels, but they weren't like Bukowski or like David Foster Wallace. They were like John Green books. Side note, John Green is really sad, and you need to be emotionally prepared for when you read John Green, just for future reference. And I didn't realize that I could watch movies without like focusing on what I was going to tweet. So like, I could either enjoy the movie, or I could spend 2 hours thinking about how I'm going to tweet about Bella's hair. And you know, it's a really funny thing, because when you don't have technology, you don't necessarily notice you notice the acting. So like, turns out Bella's hair wasn't really the problem. I had to do some other things, like I had to talk to my family. That was great. let me give you some like backstory. My mom passed away like 5 years ago, and I don't really have like contact with my dad, so I had to go live with my aunt. And I always felt like kind of like a burden to this aunt. Like I felt like she kind of had to take me in. Her and my mom were really close, and I felt like she felt obligated. So anytime the conversation of my mom would come up, I would just kind of like throw in my headphones, like send out a text message, like I would walk away. Well, I unfortunately did not have that luxury anymore, so I kind of had to talk to her, and it was emotional. Like, I found out that my mom actually wanted me to live with a different aunt, because my aunt, she kind of has it rough sometimes, and she thought I would be a burden as well. So my aunt and uncle, they like fought for me. Like, they wanted me there, and they like fought my mom, and they finally got her to change her mind. So it was like amazing to go from feeling like this big burden to like feeling accepted. Like, who knew your family loved you, right? So then I was like, what else am I missing? Like, this is crazy. I could have been so close to my family. I could have had all this like guilt gone 2 years ago if I would have just stepped away from my cell phone for a week. I love storytelling, clearly. Like, Walter Fisher is my man. I love narrative paradigm. And if we're telling stories, and our life is a novel, cell phones are making us write in like shorthand or like text speak. Like, there's no context whatsoever. I'm really pathetic. Like I said, I think I'm really clever, so I spent like 2 hours perfecting this tweet over this time, and I sent it out to my 78 Twitter followers, and it was like, this is the gem, this is the nugget that I pulled out. It was like, I guess I can eat my feelings. I thought it was hilarious. I didn't get the response I was looking for. People were concerned. Clearly I was trying to be hilarious. They did not understand. What they didn't know is that I had watched Beaches, October Sky, and the iCarly series finale all in the same day. And I will tell you, Bette Midler, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Miranda Cosgrove is an emotional roller coaster that I was not prepared for. It was great. So I found out that like these stories that we can tell, that we can actually like tell people, like we experience them and then we reflect on them later, they're so much greater than the stories that we kind of like think up and like modify and then vomit all over social media. Like, it's so much more fun, and we kind of like disconnect with people. Like, you're so busy being connected with people all across the country or the state or whatever that you don't connect with the people in the room. Like, I'm not well traveled enough to have friends in like Europe, but I have friends in Kentucky, and I really like those friends in Kentucky. But at what point is like their dog's birthday more important than my friend down the hall who's having like a crisis? And like, it took me not having my cell phone to like notice that. And you can even alienate people that are in the room with you. Like, you know the deal where you're like texting back and forth, and then someone says the line, they're like, secrets don't make friends. And then you're like, you do the thing where you're like Bill Clinton, and you're like, I did not have textual relations with that woman. So then not only are you really lame, but you're also a liar. And for what? Like One Direction concert tickets? Like, okay, they go on sale on Tuesday and it's $95 for 4 seats, but like maybe I like One Direction too. If you would have just spoke out to the whole room, we all would have known that, and we could have connected. So, I really just want you to think about it and just hear me out, because I know you're all thinking like, no, I love my phone, and I love my phone too. Like, I went back to it, we're friends again, but just kind of like step away and take a look around, because there's all these things happening around you, like all this stuff, and you're just missing it. Like, your cell phone can be a great tool for communication. It can really set you free, or it can be like an anchor and a blindfold. It can really hold you back. And the great, amazing thing is that we get to like determine how to use it. And I know I was using it wrong. So you have to ask yourself, how are you using it? Thank you.